What's going on, all you wild film lovers out there? It's your two favorite critics back here for Cinephellas. We're coming up to the end of the year, and we're going to be talking about an Oscar contender tonight, Mr. Steven Spielberg, that needs no introduction, his brand new film that a lot of critics and people have been talking about and buzzing around the film festivals and all that good stuff. But tonight, we've finally got around to checking this brand new movie out, and we're talking about The Fabelmans.
What was your favorite part?
That's right. We're talking about the brand new movie, directed by Steven Spielberg. Obviously, a project very close to his heart. Basically, it's a movie about his younger, growing up as a young man and his family life. So we see, kind of a not using the same names of his family or anything, kind of an alternate take, but seeing how he came up as a young man and gained this love of film. And it all started with his parents taking him to the movies and seeing that train wreck. And then he saw that and he was just blown away by it, and he wanted to recreate it. His dad, worked with what he worked. Who did he work for? He worked for like General Electric.
He's building like a computer, and got him a camera, and he kind of recaptured the image he saw from the movie with the train wreck, and it really sparks his interest in filmmaking. Taking pictures and moving them all together to make a movie. So that's kind of the setup of this. So this is post World War II, 1950s. The Fabelmans, which is pretty much Spielberg's family, lived in the Midwest, moved out to Arizona because of his dad's job, and then he got more into films and making movies, and really sparking his interest and love and passion for it. And his parents, kind of had a rough patch, didn't get along a little bit, kind of different personalities, where Mitzi, played by Michelle Williams, is more, I guess, more laid back, and the dad is more focused on work, and that's played by Paul Dano. He plays Bert Fabelman. But they really kind of bump heads throughout the film, but you're seeing this through the eyes of Sammy, which is basically young Spielberg, and how he gets into filmmaking as he gets older. It's played by a different actor, but you see basically his life, autobiography of Spielberg's life, and how he got to be this huge, larger than life, director that we all know.
Yeah, the film touches on, his upbringing as a kid, going to school, being this Jewish kid, getting picked on, obviously, deals a lot with that. That really shows what formed him and what made him the man he is and turned him into the director that he was. He had this free spirited mom, Mitzi, played by Michelle Williams. Obviously, she always wanted to be a star and be the focal point of, she wanted to be a star herself. So Sammy would film her a lot, dancing and doing things like that. And, really supported Sammy and his love of movies, as did the dad, Bert, too. They both were that, they both were very different, personality wise, but both, felt like they were, creative themselves. And, that's what fed Sammy's love of the movies. He had that creative juice flowing since he was a kid, and, had parents that, made that happen for them. So he had that as a kid and had to overcome obstacles, as the film shows. Had his dad's friend Bert had a friend that lived with them, Benny Lowy, played by Seth Rogen, in a really cool role too. I really liked how the actors, all of them worked together. I really felt Paul Dano, Michelle Williams felt like a very believable couple in this time period. They really worked. Paul Dano, what a great actor. He can play anything, he can play a sadistic villain in Batman. He can play the Riddler. He can play a dad, and every man's dad, some smart, guy that works with computers and technology. You just believe whatever he does. And this is a great role for him, playing the dad of, Steven Spielberg, basically. And then you have Michelle Williams. She does a great job too, playing this free spirited woman. And, everybody does a great job. And it's awesome to see Seth Rogen in this role too. It's something different than he usually does. Obviously, he does a lot of comedy and stuff. He has some comedic moments in this, but he also plays some drama well too. The cast is phenomenal. And I really enjoyed the movie. The main gripe that we had, unfortunately, it felt like, a half hour could have been cut off of this at least. It just goes on too long. It runs on a little bit. That's what it felt like for me. I enjoyed watching him come up and seeing Sammy's love of the movies, seeing him going through the process of making movies with friends and stuff. That stuff was great. That's the stuff that we really like and enjoy, seeing the behind the scenes stuff, seeing how things are done, and from Sammy's perspective in this film, all that stuff was great. It just ran on a little too long.
It did. 30, 45 minutes, a little too long. Around 2 hour mark, I think it would have been perfect. It just dragged on a little bit towards the second, third act, but just some minor complaints. As you said, Seth Rogen playing Benny, I was really impressed and blown away. Like he played it straight and like a dramatic, performance on top of some, obviously comedy from Seth Rogen with his goofy laugh. But I thought he did a really good job in this role, and great to see him show some real acting chops. Another honorable mention, Judd Hirsch playing Uncle Boris. He had a smaller part, but he was really fantastic in this. But this is really a focal point on young Sammy's life. Steven Spielberg, making probably his most truthful and personal story in film to date. What he went through and his parents really struggling and him trying to find his own purpose in life and being a filmmaker. And you see it through his eyes as a young kid in this movie. And it's, a love letter to filmmaking, the golden age of films and just all the way to the modern times. It's just a really good love letter to filmmaking, and really impressed with this film. Just a little too long. Everything else, I love the set design, music, cinematography, directing, writing, cast is all really top notch, and you can see why people have been talking about this because, yeah, this is going to be yet another contender come Oscar season for sure. I don't think it's going to win for Best Picture, but it'll be a contender for sure. Another honorable mention I liked in this movie towards the end was David Lynch. Huge David Lynch fan here, Twin Peaks.
Yes.
He played John Ford when Sammy was like showing up at the back lot of the studio, leading up to where we know Spielberg's life goes as a big Hollywood director. Him as a younger man and meeting up with John Ford was really cool, and seeing a little glimpse of David Lynch was awesome. Nice little touch there.
That was cool. Yeah, that was great. I really enjoyed the movie too. I mean, was it a classic Spielberg movie, like one that'll be remembered for ages? No, it didn't reach like greatness, but for me, all the seeing how he was raised, what he had to overcome, seeing his story, was pretty fascinating. He's one of the greatest directors of all time, and you get to see like what made him and what really shaped him and why he became so successful. And it's all through hard work and just going at it and really loving film, and it shows in this film. I'm sure this is deeply personal for him, obviously being about his life, and the love of the film definitely shows through this, and it's what makes it an obvious choice and an obvious contender for awards. We'll have to see what it wins, but it's definitely a good film and everybody should check it out. Just ran a little too long. That's the major complaint here, but definitely a solid movie.
That being said, I'm going to give the Fabelmans a 3.5 out of 5 Steven Spielberg hair pieces.
I'm going to give the Fabelmans the exact same score, a 3.5 out of 5 Paul Dano hair pieces.
We want to hear from all you wild cinephiles out there. What was your favorite part of the movie? What didn't you like about the Fabelmans? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to click subscribe. Also, check out these wild Cinephellas boys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our website, cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV, movie news and reviews.
Question for you, mate. What's your favorite Steven Spielberg movie?
I don't know. Maybe Jaws. Yeah, Jaws. Jaws and Jurassic Park. It's pretty close.
Yeah. I'd probably go Jaws. That's my favorite. I think that's his magnum opus there, Jaws. Hard to beat. But yeah, he's got some great movies. Obviously, Jurassic Park. That's tough. That's a tough one. But I would say Jaws. E.T. Hell, Saving Private Ryan. If you like, I mean, I know you don't like war movies, but that depiction, especially when they storm the beach, man, freaking crazy. Nobody else has directed the storming of the beach like Spielberg. He does all the World War II stuff really well too. The Band of Brothers miniseries was something else too. But yeah, definitely Jaws. I mean, the man's got so many classic movies, and I hope he has a lot more in the tank after this. I want to see him direct another big blockbuster, like original. I hope he's writing something original and has another like classic one to come out. It's been a while since there's been like a big classic Spielberg. I know he did Ready Player One. I'd like to see Ready Player Two from him too. That'd be awesome. Especially, after reading the book and seeing the source material, I'd like to see what he'd do with that. So we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what your favorite Spielberg movie is. Thank you guys so much for watching our review of the Fabelmans. We hope everybody gets a chance to check it out, and we wish it luck during award season. Definitely deserves the praise that it's getting, for sure. So thank you guys again, and until the next Cinephellas movie review, I'm Uncle Henry Spielberg.
And I'm Uncle Logan Dano, signing out until the next movie review.
Cheers! Cut.